My people, what up, man? Mr. Martin 45 back with another video, man. And still getting a few things together. Come this time next week, man, we'll be dropping it off unless my guy hit me up and have me bring it a little bit early, which using these last few days to make sure I got all my odds and ends together, all my ducks in a row before I take and drop it off. Pretty much all my parts in the back to be painted. As y'all seen before, I got all my side markers and all of that stuff out. Headlight lenses, covers, got my tail lights loose, and therefore I can pull all that stuff out. So pretty much you can just roll it in there, start getting it together, sand it, you know what I mean, mask it, prime paint, clear, push it out. But today's video, man, checking out some of these parts that I'm steadily getting in, get these together, get them mocked up in areas that they're supposed to go. Some of this stuff I'm just gonna kind of mock up, make sure it fits to where it's supposed to, throw it in the back. Some of this stuff is still gonna stay here until I get it painted, get it to the shops that it needs to get get some of these parts installed. So, as you can see, man, what we got, a couple chrome tips that I plan on putting on there, which, of course, got 4 of them joints because, of course, on the rear, you got 2 on one side, 2 on the other. So, just a few parts in, so can get those changed out, hit the muffler shop, get those thrown after paint. I almost started to take it before paint, but I'm gonna wait until after. Go get these thrown on the other side of my seatbelt. So this has to go on the passenger side, and of course these red ones are the ones that came out of there. So in case I need some extras, I got some extras. Of course, the rest of my LED lights that are gonna go in my side markers, which some of those are a little bit smaller, so I'm gonna have to use these in other areas. And if y'all haven't checked, if y'all have a Corvette, man, may throw in the description. I got these from eBay, and it's the entire set. All the screws that came out of the interior, and I even think in a couple more places, but I think mainly the interior. But there's screws for everything. So some of these screws that were old, rusty, you know, or even screws that were missing, they came with all the screws, and it actually gives you a list. Yeah, so they're all interior screws. A list of where they go, what group, and where you should put them. So, got all new screws. I want to say this set was maybe 20 bucks, if that. So therefore, I got all brand new screws to go in everything. I'll throw that in the description if y'all guys are looking for screws. That's a must. What else we got? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it outside of smaller parts. Some vacuum lines. My Overflow reservoir, like I showed you in one of my previous videos, the whenever your car gets hot and it runs that antifreeze into that overflow tank, that plastic tank, the top of it, one of those areas where you tighten the bolt up is cracked. It's not only cracked there, but I think my dad had told me there's a crack down at the bottom. So of course, depending on how much runs in there, it'll start leaking out of there. So I actually got something to replace that. Got an aluminum one to replace the plastic one that was in there. Again, this will be a piece that I keep off until I actually get it back from paint, so therefore I don't get any overspray or anything on there. It's a nice little overflow container. Replace the old ones. That'll stay here, as well as tips and all of that stuff. This stuff will be getting put on after. What I'm really working on today are these. So all of these are my ground effects kits that I ordered. And get these where they need to be. Get them mocked up and get them put in next to them. I'll probably have him paint these with the car just so everything is uniform, because this black may be different than the black that I'm going with on the car, because the black that I'm going with on the car, yeah, it's a gloss black, but it's an ebony black, so it may be a little bit blacker than the regular gloss black. Which I did my research, and how they said in the video was not every black paint is the same. You got your gloss black, you got an ebony black, so you got a couple of different shades that give you a little bit darker contrast. So yeah, I'm gonna get this stuff mocked up, get it where it needs to be. These screws in here to make sure it fits the way that I need it to fit. So then therefore it's before paint, not after, because I don't want to have to worry about scratching anything or, you know, trying to get all of that figured out beforehand and then, you know, don't have to worry about it after versus doing it after and then something not fitting right and I gotta put a hole somewhere else and get this stuff in there. So we'll pull all of this stuff out, let you see what comes in the kit. I'll also drop this link in the description as well, because the screw set and the ground effects kit I both got off of, damn, I got Walmart on the brain. I was about to say Walmart. Not Walmart, but eBay instead of Amazon. A lot of my other stuff I got off of Amazon, which a lot of the stuff you can find on Amazon, but you have a much bigger selection of getting some of this stuff off of eBay versus Amazon. You know, Amazon doesn't carry a whole host of a lot of parts, but they do have a lot of them and they're continuing to come up. So let me get this stuff up out of here, man, to checking it out, and I'll turn y'all back on. All right, man, so as y'all can tell, out here working, so it's getting a little warm out here. Some of these parts, man, I'm probably not going to use just based on the fact that it's a universal kit. So the rest of the front splitter I'm not going to use. I was going to try to use the side markers, but with how this car jacks up, and there's only a couple places, if you can see those, but that's where we jack it up at, and that would kind of be in a location of where these would have to go, and I don't want to cover up my jacking location. There's one back there in the back and then one in the front, so not going to use those, but the ones in the front and the ones in the back, you can actually make that one whole piece. As far as the back, I mean the front is concerned, that splitter that goes across the front, probably could have made that work, but there is a you know about these cars, you know there's an air dam in there that kind of forces that air up in there. Could have put it up in there, but how the picture shows, which I'll drop that somewhere in here, that basically has them installing it with these rods. So I'm not going to use those rods. I did use 2 pieces of that front lip to go on the sides. I've already marked that up, which I'll show you here. So that's kind of how I'm going. The front, probably could have got that to tuck in a little bit more, but looks pretty decent from the side and even from the front. Something kind of subtle, but at the same time, it's quite a bit of difference. So instead of having it come all the way out and actually mount up somewhere in here or somewhere up in the front with those rods, I just decided to go that route. Got those mocked up, so now I'm gonna pull those off so those can get painted, which again, they come in, you know, kind of like a light plastic, so it's very, very easy to get these scratched up, as you can see. And this was just kind of putting those up under there to see how they would fit. And you got quite a bit of scratching on there. So yeah, got the front mocked up, and this is kind of how I'm going to go with the back. Still trying to get that figured out, and this one is all scratched up just because of how I'm trying to mock it up, which as you can see, like I said, this is why I wanted to get this mocked up before paint and not after. So then that way all I gotta do is put it back up under there, throw the screws back in, and we're done. And I don't need all the scratching. So with these, thinking about going something this effect. Still don't really know how I feel about that. But yeah, may go with these, may not. I don't know further back, further up. Don't know how I'm feeling these, y'all, so I may not even use these ones in the rear. It just looks, I don't know, it looks a little weird. I don't know if it would look better more towards the back, but then even then, like I said, may not go with these. I'm still kind of undecided right now. Don't know what I'm going to do. So yeah, I may just go with the front ones and leave all of the rest of them off, just based on, you know what I mean, how they would look, unless I can get these side skirts cut the way that I would want them to go on there. Get that fitted just right, but then even then, I don't know if I was to kind of trim them. Because with those back ones that I just showed you, the fact that they're so small, it's kind of weird whether they're all the way up, all the way back, and even in the middle looking kind of strange. But with these side skirts, being that they're longer, but just a little bit too long, they would still kind of have the same contrast as the front ones, how they kind of give kind of a fan effect. We shall see. All right, man, so decided to go with the other pieces that would have gone along that front lip. But when they say it's a universal kit, don't mean it's gonna be a universal fit. So I've had to trim them, but I think they're gonna work just nice. So I cut about 4, maybe 5 inches off horizontally, which is this piece, so it's not as long. And I'm cutting off about 3 inches vertically. So I'm only gonna be using this piece here and cutting all of this piece off, which these are the pieces that I cut off of the driver's side so far. So I'd be left with this piece here, and then I just have to mount this up in there. So this will be what I'm left with if I get that from up here, which it'll kind of tuck in like that. Maybe go back a little bit farther, but you kind of get the gist. You'll be able to see it a little bit better once I start mocking up the other side. But let me get started on this other side, and then we'll get these mocked up, put on, and I'll probably just use the back and the front. Excess plastic off of here. We in business, you know what I'm talking about? Sometimes, man, you gotta formulate a plan on your own, and it'll make the pieces that you're looking for. Or if what you're going for ain't necessarily what you want to go for. So they got body kits, man, that you can go on and buy the whole kit, bolts right up, have no issue, which I've seen a couple, but it wasn't that serious for me to spend a couple grand on a body kit. Just want to throw something subtle on there. I didn't really want to change the whole look of the car, but just give it a little bit of a different flavor, if you know what I'm talking about. So, get these edges up. I'm glad these came in so I can send it off to my boy. Way they can get painted as well, then mocked up and screwed on there. So that way all I gotta do is put old Dion back together. I get it back to paint. Just need a few things to order when I get them back, you know what I mean? Which really, quite honestly, I think the only thing that I'm still lacking is my weather strip. I have it, pretty much everything else in here that I'm gonna do, as far as parts wise. I still gotta throw my shocks on, and I may order some, I'm not gonna say I may order, I'm going to order some lowering bolts, because like I said, I wanna drop this, the rear of this thing about an inch and a half, because the way the front sits, let me get this last little piece of plastic off here. The way the front sits, I'm happy with. Kind of give you a measurement. You can, when I tried the rims on, you can get about 3 fingers in between the top of the tire and the wheel well, and in the back it's about 4. So I want it sitting more leveled. So I'm trying to get the same rod height in the front and in the back, to where you can get about 3 fingers between the tire and the sidewall, the tire and the fender. So still kind of playing with that idea of these lowering bolts, man. That it should be the one that goes on the passenger side. So, all right, man, I'm gonna cut y'all off for a minute, get this mocked up, and I'll be right back to show y'all what I'm talking about, show you how it look, which will keep the camera on. But bro, what I had to go through to get these front ones on there, I want just random footage of me getting up and getting down, getting up, getting down, getting up, getting down. You know, that's what I do. I get up to get down, you know what I mean? Be right back. All right, man, so it's gonna need a little fine tuning, but this is what we're looking like. It's coming out a little bit, not too much. Just a little something down up under there. Which again, it's gonna be a little bit of an accent probably along this edge to try to match the interior, which of course, I've already seen the interior. If you haven't, y'all idea, which I got it covered up, but I'm gonna find me something to match that. Get a little bit maybe along this edge or something like that. A little bit of something on there. It's mainly gonna stay black, but I may go just along the edge or something. But yeah, man, coming out pretty decent, especially for having to chop and cut some of this stuff here. Which again, you can tell that they didn't pop any of these pieces out when they painted it last time when my pops had it. As you can see, the maroon's still in there. He just masked the lights up and shot this joint, which is precisely why I took it upon myself to pull all of this stuff out. So therefore, I don't have to worry about that when I get it painted in about a week. So yeah, man, guessing that's gonna do it for this video, man. Just wanted to bring y'all along, give y'all an update on some of the small stuff that I'm still doing. Like I said, getting ready to drop it off, so I have that footage, me taking it to the shop, dropping it off to them, so it can get its last few touches, get touched up in areas. There's a whole lot of orange peel on this thing. I don't even think they hardly sanded it when it got painted the last time, but we're not gonna have to worry about that when I get it done. You know what I mean? Shout out to Bezo with Wheels, man. Y'all check out his channel, man. Till the next time, man, continue to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Almost at 1,000, man. Appreciate y'all. Till the next video. Peace.